terrible, just terrible, disgusting, pathetic, whatever word you want to use. Brutal. Mets lose 4-0 to the Atlanta Braves, and now they fall back down one spot, and the sky's falling, right? Now, in all seriousness, I went into the series saying, just win the series. Win the series. A split would suck. A split would really suck. Wouldn't be the end-all, be-all, but I really wanted them to win this series after winning the first two. And when you looked at the matchup that was going to go down today, when you saw Tyler McGill was on the bump, every fan just pretty much threw their hands up and talked this one up as the loss of the series if they're going to win the series, and rightfully so, and it's what happened. Is it all Tyler McGill's fault? No, because God forbid the offense comes through today. And listen, there are times where you just tip your cap to what's on the other side of you in terms of the pitcher, and I'm not going to take away anything from what Schwellenbach did today, but there were some non-competitive ABs there. JD Martinez, is this just the JD Martinez experience? Is this because he's on the back nine? I don't know what it is, but man, it's frustrating. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say that the guy sucks and everything, but it just feels like this is what it is, where the guy performs so well in one game, has a clutch moment, gets a clutch hit, and then the next day, the guy goes 0 for 4, gets a couple strikeouts. I mean, today he was 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts. Having that in the third spot of your order isn't good. You get Pete Alonso, who got a hit when there was nobody on base, but when the time came in the 9th inning and they're counting on him to get a big hit, he doesn't come through. Gets 2 strikeouts, couldn't hold back on swinging the bat there, and tried to get a little too happy swinging at some ugly pitches out of the zone. Vientos doing the same deal, going 0 for 3 in his own right, 3 strikeouts. I mean, this lineup just collected strikeouts like it was Infinity Stones. Before we jump further into the recap, though, please be sure to leave a like on the video if you enjoy it. Subscribe if you guys are new, especially if you're Met fans, and turn on your notifications so you know when I upload or go live on the channel. It's just so frustrating. It's just beyond infuriating, and it just annoyed me too that they couldn't even get the pitch count up to get to the bullpen a bit earlier. And would it have made the difference? I don't know. I really don't know. But there was at least competitive at-bats in the 9th inning. What I saw in the 9th inning is what I wanted to see throughout the entirety of the game. It's just unfortunately not what happened. But in the first inning, 1-2-3 inning for Tyler McGill, picking up 2 strikeouts. Bottom of the first, Mets go down in order. Top of the second, 1-2-3 inning. Could somebody please come to the realization that there's still an opportunity for Tyler McGill to thrive in this organization? He could go to the bullpen and throw multiple innings and get outs. We saw firsthand today he's capable of getting outs. It's just the deeper it gets. And I said it within the first few innings because he had 3 1-2-3 innings in a row. In the third inning, he did the same. By the way, in the bottom of the second, I mean, a McNeil double, and that's about it. But he had 3 1-2-3 innings. Mets went down 1-2-3 in the third. Then the fourth inning, because I said it as I'm watching the game. I'm like, love what he gave, but let's see what happens when the lineup rolls over, because that's typically where you could expect Tyler McGill to struggle. Like, that's just what it is with him. We're in year 4. We know the gig at this point. We know the deal. And he gets the first 2 outs, and you're thinking, all right, maybe today's different. And Marcell Ozuna tanks one, and then Matt Olson tanks one. They go back-to-back 2-0 all of a sudden for Atlanta. Allows a single to Duvall, and then gets a flyout from Rosario. But you look at it as 2 runs, and you're like, I mean, the Mets offense has to come through at some point, which in the bottom of the fourth, you had that Pete double, and that's about it. The 5th inning, no, just not any better. Walk Sean Murphy, gets a ground out from Alvarez, and then Arcia gets an RBI single, 3-0. Gets the next 2 outs. The Mets in the 5th inning go down in order, 2 strikeouts there. Top of the 6th, McGill gets a 1-2-3 inning, and I thought right then and there, a guy in Tyler McGill who is in the minor leagues because he is not cutting it in the major leagues, I thought, perfect way to cut it off. Allowed 3 runs. Just gave you 6 innings. end it right there. And no, instead they leave him in because after the Mets go down in order yet again, in the 7th inning, Eddie Rosario hits a home run 4-0. Then he walks Sean Murphy, and then Danny Young comes into the game and actually does pretty well. So if you want to look at positives, Young and Young both looked very good, by the way. Like when Alex Young came into the game in the 9th inning, he looked good. And there's pretty much nothing to talk about from the Mets standpoint offensively until the 9th inning where Torrens had the single. Lindor almost took one out of the park, but unfortunately Eddie Rosario made a catch there. Nimmo then got a single. Martinez, though, and Alonso, which is 2 terrible ABs there, striking out at just some ugly pitches there. And it's just days like this that really suck for your offense because they've been so good all year. And I know that there's going to be days that it's like this, but it just sucks the timing of things, that's all. Because if you look at the base stat line, Tyler McGill gave you what you expect. The problem is he's allowing way too many home runs, and the problem is he cannot go through the second part of he can't go through the order a second time, nevertheless the first time. And again, he's not entirely why they lost. I mean, it's very obvious from what the Mets did offensively today, but this experiment has to come to a close, and the Mets have to go one of 2 ways here. And I tweeted it, and I will stand on this take to the grave. They have to get either 2 starting pitchers at the deadline this year, and one being a big name. Like, they have to get an ace because now, which I forgot to mention, Kodai Senga is done for the regular season. Because, of course, and as the Phillies make a trade to get Carlos Estevez, as I'm doing this, yeah. Nice. But regardless, yeah, as the Phillies get better and as I'm rambling here, the Mets need to get 2 starters at the deadline, or they need to get 1 really good starter. Like, I'm talking either way, they need to get an elite starter. If that's out there, I don't know who it is, whether it's getting Skubal, whether it's getting Crochet, Porter, just they have to get it. They have to get that quality of starter if they want to make a serious push at the Sting. And if they're not going to get 2 starters, they need to get a high quality starter, and Jose Budo needs to get out of the bullpen and come into the rotation again, because you cannot do this anymore with Tyler McGill. Switch their roles. I think that's a very fair statement to make, and I think it would actually work perfectly fine. Because Jose, I just don't understand how Jose Budos gave you the starts that he has this season when he has started, and it's just always Tyler McGill, you get the chance. And I get that there are times where unforeseen things happen and injuries happen, and Budo might have pitched within a certain amount of days, and he's not maybe conditioned to be a starter right now. But one way or another, you got to do this thing, because it just cannot be the case. And I would rather see them try to make upgrades to their bullpen, and I think they could do that more easily versus getting a couple of starting pitchers, because you missed out on. And the guy that I wanted, one of the guys I wanted was Zach Eflin, who didn't really go for much, and I was really hoping they would go for him, but it, of course, didn't happen. But we'll see. That's the starting pitching story. And then the offense today, like I said, I mean, putrid. They had it took until the 9th inning to get multiple base runners. That tells you pretty much all you need to know about this game. 0 for 5 with runners in scoring position, leaving 4 on. Just a terrible day. DJ Stewart needs to be off the roster. I don't think I'm breaking news there. Iglesias is cooling off a bit, and it's unfortunate. I'm not writing him off and saying guy needs to go now, but it just sucks that he's starting to hit a bit of a wall here, especially because you were getting some good contributions from him and guys like Bader, who hasn't played lately, of course, because of the injury. You're getting production from the bottom of the lineup, and that didn't come to fruition today. But yeah, I mean, Lindor, though, 0 for 4, hitting a little bit of a rut over the past few games, which I'm not going to be too concerned about, but it's It's of course not ideal, the timing of it happening today. And again, I don't think it's necessarily fair to say that it's a big rut, because obviously the guy did what he did against the Yankees. Just this series, he's been in a little bit of it's just been a bit of a dip, which again, I'm not expecting the guy to go off every night. Either way, I mean, he still did good in that first game, obviously, but against the Braves. But you guys get what I mean. Just based on what we've seen, the guy's playing like an MVP, and this series, it is slowing down a bit, the production, especially this game and yesterday. But I'm not ripping on the guy. I want to make that very clear. I'm not ripping on the guy at all. If I'm going to get on anyone, really, I mean, it's probably just the fact that DJ Stewart's still here. Tyler McGill really get in the line of fire for today. And outside of that, just guys not coming through today. And there's really nobody to pick up the load for today. And it's just unfortunate. These days happen, and they got to move on to tomorrow. Get the offense going, and find a way to get this series win, because it would really suck after the high we were on after the first 2 wins for them to split the series. But David Peterson versus Ronaldo Lopez, who's kind of on a bit of a downswing, so maybe you could catch him there. Guys like Budo are available out of the pen. Your high leverage guys should definitely be ready. So there's no excuse to not go to the pen if needed early in this game. So we'll see what happens, though. Let me know your thoughts on this game in the comment section. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't. Turn on your notifications so you know I upload or go live, and I'll see you guys in the next one.